I think there's a lot of misconception out there about what good golf looks like, and it's not actually as spectacular as you might think it is. So I'm going to jump out here and play the front nine at the Vintage in the Hunter Valley. I'm going to try and post a reasonable score, but I'm going to show you a lot of statistics from your average 5 handicapper and your average 10 handicap golfers, so that you can get a feel for how close you might already be to shooting the type of scores you want to. And I think by the end of this video, you might be a little bit surprised by how average good golf looks and how close to it you already are. The first at the Vintage opens up with a great little par 4. And I'm going to throw a lot of shot scope statistics at you in this video to give you a realistic view of lower handicap golf. So you'll see here the 5 handicaps are going to be highlighted in yellow, the 10 handicap in white. And on a par 4, I'm only just better than 50-50 chances when it comes to making par. Slightly pushing that opening tee shot. It's going to give me a first decision of the round because it's over water to the green. 138 yards to the centre means I've got a high statistical chance of hitting the green, but there's also that big chance of coming up short where there's 2 ponds. The decision here for me is to club up, swing easy, hit the 7-iron and aim for the back part of the green to try and avoid the trouble at the front. Admittedly, that shot carried the green by more than I was expecting, but with this lie and at this distance, it still leaves me a 56% chance of getting up and down, which is a much better option than being in that pond at the front of the green. After a well-played lob wedge down that slope, I'm now inside 3 feet, which means the odds are in my favour to make par. The second tee shot plays down a narrow shoot to a hard right angle. It's 234 yards to carry out, which means I go down from a driver to a 4 hybrid. That does have the added benefit though of taking my chances of hitting the fairway from 49% to 56%. A solid tee shot gives me a perfect view into this green, and at 159 yards, at my level I'm solid odds between hitting the green and coming up just short. With bunkers long and left, I know I don't want to go there, so my target really becomes the front right part of the green, and I go with a gentle 7-iron to try and do that. Finishing just on the fringe and at 62 feet from the pin, would you think of that as a good shot? Interestingly, it's actually inside the 71 feet average for a 5 handicap golfer. It does though leave me a low make rate when it comes to the putt, so that's more about pace. Misjudging how quick the greens would be when this wet, well, that puts me at the top end of the 4 to 6 foot range. 67% make rate, which unfortunately I've missed, leading to my first bogey of the round. The third's a mid-length par 4, really good looking hole with kangaroos playing just off the side of the tee, primarily from here looking to miss the bunkers. This one leaks a little bit to the right and possibly get lucky with the bounce, ends up in a decent position. From here I'm 151 yards to the centre, but I'm in the rough, it's wet and it's uphill into the wind, so I'm going to go 7-iron, which gives me a 37% chance of hitting the green. If I miss just off the edge, I've got a 47% up and down rate, but if I was to go left into the bunkers, that would drop to 23%. So really that tells me the shot here is to aim on the green or to the right of it, which is pretty much how it pans out. Because of a sprinkler head, I'm going to play this one with my 54 degree. Basic little bump and run, but played well. The most obvious thing I could see from this tee shot was that you didn't want to go too far through the fairway. So I'm going to play it with the 4 hybrid. In the air, I thought that shot was perfect, but it turns out I didn't carry it far enough. So although I'm sat with a great lie in the middle of the fairway, I've either got to go over the trees or round them if I want to go for this green. The problem is that there's a stream in front, there's trees left and right, big bunkers and slopes, and so really going for this green opens up the possibility of a double bogey or worse. Even at the handicap level I'm at, I'm still averaging 1.44 double bogeys a round, and I don't want that to come into play right now. So I'm referring to the shot scope watch. I'm trying to learn as much as I can about the hole and really pick a good layup distance short of the stream. I have to accept that bogey is an option on this hole now, but although I'm in the fairway, avoiding double bogey is the priority. Playing that nicely, just short of the stream, it's going to leave me 42 yards from the rough. At that point, I know the average proximity to the hole is 22 feet. 22 feet is the red line of the circle, not inside it. So there's still quite a bit of danger where I am when you look at the bunker. So the smart play here is just to the right of it, accepting that you're going to be level with the pin or long. The average make rate from 26 feet is only 7%. But what I have done is I've reduced the likelihood of a 3-putt. And although I stood on the tee of this hole and thought I'd flush the tee shot, it's really become about avoiding a double bogey or worse and doing my best to make either par or accepting the bogey. 2 over through 4 brings me on to this stunner of a par 3. And at 148 yards, I'm going to play the 8 iron, giving me a 42% chance of hitting the green. Not too unhappy with that tee shot, it's still fairly close, and the standing water from the downpour didn't really slow that putt down. But I am closer to 4 foot than 6 foot, and so I've got that higher percentage chance of making the putt for par. The 6th is a fairly long par 4, but it's going to suit the fade I'm hitting with my drive. So my big goal here is to aim at that bunker on the left hand side, knowing that if I can do that and it fades, it's going to get some extra run from the landing. That's what happened, and I was able to sneak out a little bit of extra distance, leaving me 141 yards and a solid chance to hit this green with an 8 iron. There's a little bit of an overhanging tree, so playing a bit of a fade. I've got that one exactly pin high, and in the 12 to 18 feet range, I have a 19% chance of making it. But you're always pleased to see those go in. And at my level, your average birdies per round is 1.26, which might be less than you'd expect. A quick recap on the first 6 holes. I'm currently sitting at 1 over par. I've had 1 birdie, 3 pars and 2 bogeys. I've only hit 2 out of 5 fairways in regulation and only 2 out of 6 greens in regulation. But with the strategies and the shots that I've been playing, I have missed the green in as good a position as I could hope to, which has given myself chances to get up and down. I also avoided the double bogey risk from the tee shot that was in the fairway but completely blocked out. 7 to par 5, the drive over the crest of a hill, and really just needing to keep it in play here. From the fairway, it's a long way down to the green. I'm not going to get there, so I want to use the contours to help me. Hence punching the driving iron to try and get it running as much as possible. The ideal leave at 68 yards gives me a 66% chance of hitting the green. So I'm going to take my 54 degree, this is my 3/4 swing, and I'm fairly confident that I can go towards the pin. It looked a lot closer from the fairway, but from here it's all about pace, trying to get it to go close, which it does. Having left it close to the hole, gonna make the par. A mid-length par 3 over water presents quite a lot of risk. You'll see at the average proximity at this distance is 71 feet, so the water and the bunkers are very much in play. Again, swing smooth, take a little extra club. I'm accepting that I'm going to aim for the left part of the green and it may stay there. That's exactly what happened, but I've taken the water out of play. This chip again with the lob wedge, I've landed it short and I'm letting the contours do the work. I'm going to be fairly pleased with how close I've got that. And on this occasion, I'm going to make this putt and I'm able to walk away with the par. The 9th is yet another beautiful par 4. And the big thing here is the bunkers in the fairway. They're 265 yards to reach them, which is just outside the 261 yard performance average from my level golfers with their driver. Performance average takes the best shots, removes the worst. Happy with that tee shot, it leaves me in the fairway. I'm 176 yards to the centre of the green and 190 to the back, uphill. Heavy odds on coming up short from this distance, which I don't want to do because of the bunker. So in this instance, I've gone for the 4 hybrid and another easy swing. But this one's flushed and I'm going to guess it's hit that downslope at the back of the green because it actually ran up towards the tree into a bit of an unplayable lie. So erring on the side of caution, I had to take a drop. Double bogey is now a real possibility, but all you can do is trust the process. So I've been down and had a look at the green. I've picked my landing spot, my 54-degree wedge, and I'm going to land it there and let it run out. Hopefully get it close, and if I can, leave myself a good look at saving the bogey. So there we go. Big thanks to the Vintage for letting me come out here in winter and film. And in terms of the golf, was it as good as you thought it would be? Did it look worse than you might have thought for that type of score? And the stats that I was putting up there, did they make sense? Was it something that you thought might be different? Hopefully something in this video has shown you that you are quite close to shooting good scores and it's not as spectacular as you might have thought it was. Hopefully this will help you get to shooting better scores soon if you can transfer some of the ideas into your own game. I'll see you again soon.